Hey everyone, welcome back to Movement Mondays. My name is Michael Perryman and I own MVP Therapy. So today I want to talk to you about functional movement, specifically of the hamstring. So let me ask you a question. How many out there stretch or work on hamstring mobility on a regular basis? Well, I think if you're probably being honest, most of us would consider or at least think that all of us could use some more work there. Most of us stretch our hamstrings maybe right before we work out or after we work out, maybe before we play a game of tennis or go hiking, but most of us don't stretch it on near enough regular basis. When it comes to functional movement of the hamstring, what is actually considered functional? Is there a certain range of motion that we need to be able to achieve? Like, should we be able to bend down and touch our fingertips to the ground or even our palms to the ground? Is there a certain functionality of hip motion that we should be able to do? Well, that's kind of what I want to talk to you today. So here in a little bit, I'm going to have my son Bo help me out, but I'm going to share some information on what is actually considered functional, what's considered adequate, and give you some information on maybe some areas where you need to improve and maybe achieve a certain degree of range of motion there. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Everyone, I'm not sure if you remember, but this is my son Bo. Say hi. Hi. Okay, so earlier I was talking to you about functionality, or what is considered functional movement of the hamstring. So let me show you a couple things and why that's important, and maybe a good stretch that you can do to help improve flexibility and mobility of your hamstring. So, okay, Bo, what I'm going to have you do is first lay down on your back, okay? And now when it comes to functional movement of the hamstring, one of the things that you want to do is how flexible do you need to be and what is considered functional movement? Well, here's a great way to test. If you have a great friend that will help you out, have them lay down on their back, have them go ahead and keep their legs straight like this, toes pointing towards the sky, and then what you want to do is you want to look for where the knee joint begins, which is right here, right above the kneecap, and then also you want to kind of go up here, and I'll show you on this side, but on the outside of the hip here, you want to kind of do that, and you want to take the measurement between those, and you want to split the difference, okay? And so then what you want to do is you want to get a stick and make it perpendicular to the ground like this. Okay, so this is really kind of a measuring point, and what you'll have yourself do, or you'll have your friend do, but what you want to do is have both go ahead and point your foot to the sky and keep this flat, and then with this leg I want you to keep it straight and raise it as high as it will go, keeping it straight. Keep going. Keep going. Now see here how his knee is bending up off the ground and his heel is even coming up a little bit. Well, if that happens, that means you're not very flexible here in the hamstring. So if you keep coming up like this, and now look, see how his knee comes up like that? That's not very flexible. But the idea in what is actually considered functional movement is to be able to come up with the heel past this stick. Okay, and so right past the midline of where the knee and the hip come. So this, Bo, I would say, is considered functional movement. Now, what's considered adequate? Well, if he's not able to come up that far, then let's just say he's able to come up between, right up to about where his knee joint is. So if I move the stick about 4 inches this way, right to where his knee joint is, and he were to raise his leg, or if you were able to raise your leg and get at least this high, that would be considered adequate. Okay? So really what you're shooting for when it comes to hamstring functionality or functional movement of the hamstring, and also of the hip joint itself, is really to be able to take the knee joint, the hip, what they call the anterior superior iliac spine, and you go right in between that. Bring a stick straight up towards perpendicular to the ground, keeping one leg on the ground, toes pointed towards the sky. Keep it there like that, Bo. And then raise the knee. And if you're able to bring the ankle without turning this ankle in beyond the stick, then that's considered functional movement. If you're not able to go that high, but you're able to go at least to where your knee joint is, that's considered adequate. Anything below the knee joint, maybe in this range, is considered poor functionality of not only hamstring, but also of the hip joint. One of the things you can do to help with hamstring flexibility is what we call a sitting hamstring stretch. And go ahead and stretch both legs out there like this, Bo. And then what you want to do is see how Bo's back is rounded. You don't want that right now. You want to have them sit up nice and tall like this, shoulders back, and then go ahead and reach your arm straight in front of you, Bo. This arm too. And then you want to try to come out here and as slowly as you can lean forward. But again, you don't want to round the back. So if you're rounding your back, that's going to kind of cheat on the hamstring flexibility. So keep that, come forward as far as you can go without rounding the back. Hold for about 15 seconds and then relax. And then repeat that 2 to 3 times. Now when it comes to ankle, or when it comes to hamstring flexibility or any kind of stretching, you really want consistency is the key. So you really want to try to do that at least every day, if not every other day. So thank you, Bo. And I want to also thank you guys for joining me on today's Movement Monday. Again, my name is Michael Perrin with MVP Therapy. You can contact me at my office if you need any additional help or if you have any other questions at 480-532-1219. Check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/MVPTherapyAZ or visit me on my website at www.mvptherapyaz.com. And thanks again for tuning in. Well, can you say hi or bye?
Bye.